everyone. Welcome to the Northern Strength Fitness Podcast. My name is Brandon. We got a very special edition of the podcast. I'm sitting here in Seattle with a longtime friend, Lava. We're going to talk a little about fitness today, how we've got to know each other, and hopefully you, as a listener, are listening and you can pick some stuff up from Lava. He does competitive bodybuilding, but also if you're ever wondering how we met, we got a really unique situation. So if you're a gamer at all and you're wondering about hey, can gamers get fit? Can gamers look buff? This guy's jacked. We've been doing this gaming thing for years. We finally met up, but this guy's a competitive bodybuilder, so we're going to share kind of our story with you guys. Lava's going to share some stuff with you, but welcome to the podcast, Lava.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So it's been 10 years, 12 years?
Yeah, 10 to 12 years, yeah. I started at 2012. 2012 or 2011, yeah, something like that. But I think we met 2013 online.
Yeah, a little bit into the game, because you were pretty good when I met you.
A little bit.
Yeah, so I'll give people a little bit of a background here. But Lava and I met playing a game called DOTA 2. There was a DOTA 1 back in the Warcraft days. Did you play that one?
I played World of Warcraft, I think. Yeah, I did.
Did you play
the Frozen Throne?
Yeah.
That.
But did you play the DOTA mod game?
Not really. No, I have not. No.
See, I started playing that for a year or two before, and then the DOTA 2 came out.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, Lava and I, we became gaming buddies on there. Known each other for a long time, and this is our first time meeting up. We're in Seattle.
Face to face. Yep.
We're in Seattle for the international.
So they make they have an international every year.
Yeah.
That all the teams from the whole world comes in place, and at a certain time, it was a pretty big prize pool, around $40 million, I believe.
Yeah, $40 million. It's the world's largest gaming prize pool.
Yes, but now I think it's gotten lower. But
yeah, it sort of seems to be now. But we're
still up there.
Yeah. The so this is I was telling people when we were coming here, and when I was Snapchatting where we were at, I said, yeah, it's a pretty big deal in the stadium. They're like, oh my God, that's a crazy setup. So it's still really busy there. There's still lots of people.
It's a pretty big stadium.
Yeah.
Even when I tell people I'm going to Seattle to watch a game, they're like, oh, you're not going to play? No, I'm just going to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And when I post pictures, they're like, oh wow, that's huge. And that's a big crowd for a game.
I know, right? Well, and I guess we can relate it to how people go to watch football players or soccer players. Right. They're just going to go watch something that they enjoy and and have some type of experience with. So
right.
We're able to meet here in Seattle. We did a workout. We've done a few things. We ate some interesting seafood the other day. I thought it was delicious, but there was some
people that didn't like it.
Some people didn't like it or didn't sit very well, but it's been a really good opportunity here so far. The gamings have been exciting.
They've been amazing, yeah. I think today's the finals, right?
Today's finals, so we're gonna head out after this, and we got to go try out some new food. You guys took me to lots of new cuisine things here that I'm trying out, but then we're gonna go watch the finals. But yeah, today we're gonna just quickly chat about fitness, why you got into it, what do you do. So when did you start with it?
So I came to the States for college when I was 16, and I started going to the gym when I was 16 with my brother. Yeah. He pulled me in, and we went almost every day. And at one point I was like, you know what, why not just do a little bit more extra and compete, be competitive. Why not? I just wanted to do one show just for fun, but then I just love the process, just get addicted. But that's a good kind of addiction, I would say. Yeah. So, and yeah, from there onwards, I just fell in love with it and just kept on doing what I do.
So you started at 16 training, went to your show, kind of thought you can hey, this is enjoyable for me. Let me see if I can continue on with it. And how'd you do in that first show?
I got second. I was 17, I think. I got second in the teen class, and I think I got third or fourth in the open, I believe. I'm not really sure, but one of those two. And my brother coached me in that. Yeah. And then I did. So I took 2 years off after that, and I did the same show, and I won the overall after that because I was like, okay, I need to do better. So yeah, I won the whole thing after that.
I remember you cleaned up on that year because I think I saw your first, and I was just like, oh shit! You went back and just yeah, I got everything. I remember even seeing the pictures of you. I was like, man, this guy killed everybody.
That was back in 2017, I believe.
Yeah. Somewhere. Well, you would know the dates, but I just didn't know. Yeah. And you've done a few shows since then.
Yeah, and then I did the Arnold Classic in 2020, and that was during the COVID times, so that was a mess. and
Yeah.
I didn't really do well in that one. And then after that, I hired a coach for myself. His name is Ariel Cuts.
Yeah.
And then I won my Arnold Classic, my class, and I placed third in the classic physique. And then I did the nationals to get my pro card. But with Arnold, I missed my pro card by one position.
Yeah.
But if I came in the shape I was at the nationals, I would have easily gotten it.
Yeah.
'Cause I was much better. But at the nationals, I injured my back 2 weeks before the show. I injured my long thoracic nerve in my back, and the doctor said it's from overtraining. So I really don't know how I did that. But
Yeah. So right now you're on your road to recovery.
yep, it's been a year now, and the doctor said give it another year, and then if not, probably do surgery. But yeah, I really hope it heals soon.
Yeah, I hope so too. So yeah, you've been training pretty much steady since then, and you're still able to train with your injury, but not as much as you were before.
I just train arms and legs. That's it. I can't do any chest movements, any back movements, nothing. So I still train like 2 to 3 times a week. Do some cardio in there. But I mean, it was hard mentally at first because you've been doing the same thing for so long.
Yeah.
And you really can't do it after that. But I mean, I still try to cope with it by going to the gym and do what I can.
Yeah, exactly.
Now.
Because you get that mindset. It's like, hey, we were talking about this earlier, but you get that opportunity to at least do something where other people don't get to do.
Right. I mean, you should be thankful for what you can do,
Yeah, because how were you putting it earlier? It was something about...
It's like a lot of people complain too much.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have this. Like, I need to do this. Like, you need to be thankful for saying, like, I get to do this.
Yeah.
You need to be thankful for that. Like, you get to wake up and do that.
That's the way. Yeah.
You get to do it, like...
You get to do it. And a lot of people wish that they could be in a position
I mean, if probably a few years ago, I was like, I had to do my chest workout. Like, no, like, I'm tired. But now I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, now you're like, I wish I could. So you get that. That's true. I never really thought about how you've had that little bit of a switch. It's like, oh, now I get why.
Yeah, once you lose it, you're like, damn it.
Yeah. Well, I was telling you about my marathon training, and I had that same idea when I was running for my 2 or 3 hours. And it's like, it sucked and it would get painful and boring. But I was like, you know what? At least I get to run, because I know there'd be a handful of many of thousands, millions of people who have injuries or whatever that just can't run, right?
Right.
Or born with a certain leg paralyzed defect or whatever, right? You just never get those opportunities. So
Right. I feel like everyone just should be thankful for what they have, not just look at someone else but like, oh, I want to be like them,
Yeah.
You get your own life, just you're unique yourself.
Yeah. The other thing you were saying too, and we've been chatting here for a little bit over the weekend, but just how like people underestimate the power of effort and discipline that you put into what you get, right? So
Right. And I feel like for myself, I'm thankful that I got into bodybuilding so early, and because from that I learned that if you want something, you gotta work hard for it to get it. I mean, even though the same thing, if you get it super easy, you won't really appreciate it as much.
Yeah.
And if you put in a lot of work and sacrifice it, you really love having it.
Yeah.
You appreciate everything you have.
You definitely. A way to put that too is I kind of related to, like, I own a gym and a business, and one of the first things that when I was new to town owning a business, I bumped into another guy that was owns a business there, and he's maybe 10 years older than me. I was like, yeah, like I'm always working and it's nonstop. He's like, yeah, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Right, exactly.
And it's the same with fitness or lots of stuff, right? It's like, hey, if it was easy to look this way, then everybody probably would look that way.
Then it won't be even unique, everyone trying to be like you,
Yeah, so that's why when you look around, I don't know, it's similar, I think, in both Canada and the States, but you see a lot of people that look out of shape because it's easy to get out of shape in a sense. But then the uneasy part is you're winded, you're maybe not as happy with how you look, right?
I mean, like I said earlier, I feel like the gym is the easiest part. It's working out.
Yeah.
It's the other 22 hours that out of the day when you're not training, like being disciplined with your food, what you eat. That's the hardest part.
Yeah, that is. Because you were telling me about your meals. So do you want to give the listeners here kind of like a breakdown of what you would be eating on your bulking versus your leading up to the show? Just kind of give them an insight of how you've done it, at least in your experience with it.
Right. So I feel like this differs to each and every one. So everyone's body is different. So you're just gonna find what works for you. And for me, what worked was I ate 6 times a day. I had 6 meals during bulking season, so off season basically.
Yeah.
I would eat. So say breakfast, I would eat 10 egg whites, 2 whole eggs, oats, and then the second meal would be 2 cups of rice, then chicken and some cashews, because you got to get your fats, protein, and carbs, all that in.
Yeah.
And third meal, same thing. Fourth meal, like a protein shake, peanut butter, protein cream of rice. Yeah, that was like the pre-workout. And fourth and fifth meal, same thing. So basically the same thing every day.
Yeah.
And the only thing we did differently for when we are cutting down and getting ready for a show is cut down that food. So say I had 2 cups of rice, we go down to 1 and throw some cardio in.
Yeah.
And then see how we look. If not, we do like a carb cycle. So say Monday, I eat like 2 cups of rice for every meal. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, I cut that down to like 1 or like half.
Yeah.
So like you just gotta play around and see what works best for you and what works best for your body.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you're talking about earlier about your coach that you have and how he's kind of helped you with it. But how you got better the second show because you learned a lot about your body.
Right,
right. Your coach would have learned a lot about
exactly,
it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not like something that you're going to perfect right away.
Right. I mean, even the pros, like if you see a show, like these pros, like they know everything about themselves.
Yeah.
And they still sometimes like have a hard time peeking into the show. So I still feel like your body always changes no matter what. So it's like you gotta give like credit to these pros like that are coming in top shape at the show, like because it's really hard to do that. Like people will say, okay, they use that, they use this, but no, it's tough.
Yeah,
it's
exactly. There's a lot of details that
Yeah.
your regular minded people
can just talk anything, but I mean when you're really doing it, it's tough.
Yeah, I know it's easy to sit back and be like, oh, this
Right.
must be easy for him because he's got a coach for him and he's on all these different drugs
Right.
and he's got the money for it. It's like, yeah, those are a very small piece of what the actual picture is.
Right.
It's kind of like the iceberg, right? You see, oh, like look at that.
Exactly.
But there's all this other stuff that
Right.
you don't even like understand, and unless you put yourself through it. Like I don't even really understand it because I could talk a little bit about it, but I've
Right.
never.
I mean, it's just hard, like eating the same thing every day, and when you're getting ready for a show, you got to lift the same thing, and you still have a life outside of the gym,
Yeah.
So you still, I mean, there's a lot of mood changes and stuff when you're dieting because you have low food sometimes, and you're training, and with the drugs they do, so you still have a life outside, you still have a family, so you got to keep up with that. So it's basically another job, I would say.
Yeah.
And you got to keep up with all that and have a complete mind.
True. And then
Complete and clear mind.
that's the complete and clear
Yeah,
mind.
you have to.
Yeah, because I was gonna say how in the podcast I've mentioned this in other episodes, but how like fitness and if you get into that habit building, the discipline, the mindset, even the support groups that you have, you're able to like take that discipline, those learnings, and then put it into careers.
Right.
We talked about like how that can help you maybe climb a ladder or start a business or learn how to invest in the stocks or learn how to develop a new product, right? So all those things take discipline, they take
like
time.
Any of like all the things you mentioned, like it takes time,
Yeah.
Like they just don't happen overnight. So same thing. I feel like a lot of people can learn from like just bodybuilding means like just building your body, just like go to the gym and like you can see you don't make a habit like overnight. You don't build your muscle overnight.
Yeah.
Do it 3 to 4 months and then you'll see a change. Then you love it.
Yeah. And then the other thing too, if it does happen really quick, sometimes people don't have the necessary supports or experience to support that for the long term. Like for people that, for instance, at my gym, they might come in and I encourage them to challenge themselves, but they see really quick results because they've completely changed their lifestyle, but then they usually fall back into it because they haven't taken that time to look at the long-term plan.
Exactly. I mean, you got to make it a discipline,
Yeah, you got to.
I mean, I saw this like you can be always motivated, I mean, it's like motivation just dies fast.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be motivated for like a certain time, that's fine. But I mean, you got to make it a habit, make it a discipline to keep it going.
I've said this too, and it's funny you bring that up. One of the other things I say is like motivation will come and go. And I think there's a lot of that message out there. But if you have motivation, it's awesome. Use it. Right. And then when it fades, that's where that little discipline comes in.
Right. I mean, when you're like tired and stuff, okay, motivation is good. But I mean, you can't just have motivation the whole time. You gotta make it a habit. You gotta make it discipline. I mean, no matter what happens, say you're gonna having a bad day. When you wake up the next day, you just can't be saying, "Okay, I have a bad day now." I mean, you still gotta do what you gotta do. You know,
Yeah.
you still gotta eat the same, go train, do what you have to do in life. Because I mean, no one's gonna stop just for you. You know.
Yeah, you're ultimately responsible for
Exactly, yeah.
your own outcomes, which especially to get like in your level, because you were basically on that brink of the pro.
Almost.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So that's like you have to be very like particular, and there's a reason why it gets so hard to get there, right?
Right. I mean, it is very tough. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not a lot of people can put up with it, right?
Right.
And dive into it. So I admired that about you, and then even like I think I told you this already, but when I first met you and how I thought before we had our first video chat, you were really good at the game. So the Dota game, it's a 5 versus 5 game, by the way. If you guys want to look up Dota 2, there's like 100 and some characters, all these item combinations.
It takes like 2 years to understand.
Yeah. So this guy, he was really good. We played games together, and I was always like, man, this guy's always like killing a bunch of people around the map. How is he so good and stuff like that? So in my head, I thought, well, when we first started, I think it was Skype our first time we had a
Skype. Yep.
Yeah. I was thinking he was a fat guy just in his mom's basement, just like
Classic.
Yeah, classic, eating Cheetos, and all his life is just video games. And yeah, turns out no, you were fit, and everyone else like Derek, Amir, Clip, like they were all this like, yeah, these guys are actually all like dedicated.
They're all in shape.
Yeah, everyone's like in shape and just regular old dudes. But I think sometimes even like translating your focus in fitness to how you can focus even on a game, to how you can focus, because you do well, even career wise, right? So you think about your successes.
Yeah, so I feel like all my best friends now are from that game, and even with my career wise, like it started from my internship at Hershey Chocolate, and I asked my friend Derek, and we play a lot. You know him too,
Yeah.
So he was supposed to come, but
yeah,
he had other plans. So
hi Derek, if you're watching.
I said I need an internship. He's like, apply for Hershey Chocolate. I'm like, okay. I applied and I got it.
Yeah.
And he lives like 20 minutes away, so I went and lived with him. And I think that changed everything. And then he opened this investing thing, and then he taught me all those. And yeah. If that didn't happen, like my life would be like totally different.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Yeah, and that stems all from the game, right?
Yeah, I talked to him like a few months ago, and I told him that I'm like, if you weren't there, like, I don't know, my life would be like totally different.
Yeah, you could have been completely.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts too. Like, and like this is the opportunity for me to come out and meet you, right?
Right. I mean, and it all comes to just Dota, the game. If not, I wouldn't have met anyone.
Yeah. So people that are bashing video games and you think, oh, it's not that bad. Like, there's worse ways to spend your time and energy. But I think the balance is nice too, right? So one of the reasons I was excited to do a podcast with you, because it showcases that you can fit in fitness, you can fit in video games, you can fit in a career, you can do all of these things and still be successful, still do a lot of times people think, oh, like I got to go to one extreme or the other extreme. But if you find a balance and you're able to do it and enjoy it and you're not hurting anyone else about it, then, mind your business and let people live their lives. So I like that. I like that.
Exactly.
What else we're going to talk about today? Kind of want to dive into the fitness stuff. We talked a little bit about the gaming things. We talked your nutrition. What does your training days look like? Like, what's a typical?
So right now, since I have the back injury, I train like 2 to 3 times a week. But if it's a normal training day, I would train 5 days a week. Yeah. Sometimes 6 if I'm feeling it, like do some extra work. But it's usually 5 days a week. And it also depends on what body parts you want to work out. Because I always like to train one body part a day, but some people like twice a day. Yeah. So it depends on the person as well. But 4 to 5 days a week, I would say it's pretty standard. And usually I train like 50 minutes to an hour and a half. Depends on my workout as well. But it's usually more than 50 minutes always.
Do you train usually on your own or with people? Or
I like to train on my own. I don't like to train with anyone else. But I mean, because, once in a while during, I would say, off season and stuff, I would like to have someone in certain lifts to help me out. Yeah. So I can do more. But I always focused more and did better on my own for my prep and stuff. But towards the end, I always have my some friend come in and just stay with me just in case,
Yeah, because I think that some people, I talk about a lot of this at my gym too, because there's types of different worker outers, right? Some soon as they walk in the door, they're like, "Hey, everybody!" Yeah, they're just social butterflies and going.
But someone just quiet.
And then there's some people that are just headphones in, focused and going, and they may or may not say hi or bye on the way in and out.
Right,
And then there's the people
right.
in the middle, right? And some people that can't get themselves into the gym, they seem to like, oh, I need someone to go work out with. And there's always this find what works best for you. So I was actually curious if you just like doing it on your own. Are you the headphones guy probably?
Yep. I mean, sometimes I like to talk in the gym, but like when I'm in the moment, I mean, I don't like to be disturbed. I just want to work out.
Yeah.
I mean, I came here to work out. I'm not here to talk, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
There are some days, I mean, it's fine, but.
And it depends on your goals and what you're there
I
for.
mean, right now I'm fine. I'm just, I just want to stay in shape and train for my back. But dude, when I'm competing for a show now.
Yeah. You're focused. You're in there thing.
Yeah.
No, my gym has a lot of mixed. Like we do, people want to do bodybuilding. Some people just want to get fit and lose weight. We have a little bit of like a functional CrossFit-y sort of feel in there too. Right. A little bit of everything, but I think key is to try to find what you're going to enjoy and then get support because you've had some help along the way.
Yes. I mean, my brother did the most. He helped me. I mean, he's the one who got me into it. Yeah. And he taught me the basics of everything, So
yeah. And I've seen pictures of your brother. He's pretty big too.
Yeah. I mean, he played Dota too.
Yeah. I think we
all played a few times together.
Had a few times with him.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's what your training looks like: recovery, sleep, food, all that good stuff. What else could we? I think that might be close to what we need to chat about. Can you think of anything else that you think might be of?
And I feel like a lot of people like think of bodybuilding as it's a lot of enhanced and a lot of drug usage.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it is there. I'm not gonna deny that. But I feel like there's a lot of bad stuff happening because a lot of the younger people, they just don't have much knowledge or they don't reach out to anyone thinking it's a bad thing. But I feel like you need to have a doctor and get your blood test done and ask people, ask the people who have done it.
Yeah.
And I feel like you really don't need to be on it if you don't see yourself having a career in bodybuilding. So, I mean, when I talk to a bunch of people, that's what they told me. Like, if you don't see yourself doing well in the future, don't do it. It's not worth it. I mean, why? I mean, it makes no sense. Yeah.
No, that's a good thing to bring up too, because we'll have like some people and I'm not like an expert in the world of it, and maybe I should dive into more of it just so people I can ask. But again, I'd rather have them ask someone who knows from experience or who is trained in to know these things. But taking some type of enhancements, there's been lots of like talk at the gym where they'll throw out the testosterone boosters and is it TRT? Is that another one?
TRTs,
that's a testosterone, right?
Yeah, that's like the injection.
Yeah. But anyway, they'll throw all these things, and I'm like, you know what, like. I don't know a lot about it, but there's lots of information out there. And like you said, go to a doctor and get those things to be safe with it if you're even going to consider it. And if you are going to consider it, why are you even doing it?
Right. I mean, your health comes first no matter what, but a lot of the people, like, they just want to look good. That's it, no matter what. And I feel like there's a lot of that happening now. And you can look good without all that,
Yeah, exactly.
You can. Everyone's like, they just want to take the shortcut. I mean, it's not a shortcut. Even though you take it, you still have to put in even more work than a regular person. You gotta eat more than a regular person. But a lot of people think, okay, you just get it. It's easy. No, it's not. You just gotta do like twice the work you did before.
Yeah.
So it's, even if you do that, it's not easy. But
it comes with all the other stuff too, especially if you're gonna do it safe, because then you got to go in for your checkups, your blood works.
Right.
So it is in a sense that lifestyle, it doesn't get easier.
Right. I mean, it just gets harder because I mean, it's gonna be more expensive. You gotta go to your doctor, get your blood work done, and if you do that, you gotta eat more food. So everything becomes like twice the work, basically.
Yeah, and obviously it's gonna help you with your building of the muscle and recovery and stuff in that sense, right? But if you look around the population, as long as you're eating healthy and working out, you're going to look pretty good compared to most of the people that don't even consider doing those types of things, right?
I mean, there are still like a lot of, I know a few pros that like they're natural, like they don't even do it. At the end of the day, it comes to the genetics too.
Yeah.
And some people are born with great genetics. It's just, that's the case. I mean, if you look at the pro stage, the only difference they have is the genetics. I mean, they all do. Yeah. They all work hard. They all do the same thing, but the only thing that separates them is like, I would say, experience, because they've been on stage longer and they have much more muscle maturity. That and the physique itself, like the flow of the physique. You can't really change that. It's
Yeah.
genetics. So genetics play a big role in bodybuilding and hard work and of those, but mainly I would say, I mean, your physique, like the flow and everything.
Yeah, once you get-
you can't change that.
Once you get your everything, it's like, okay, then it comes to genetics. And then we also talked about briefly like the stage presence and learning how to pose and those
Like,
other
I've-
pieces.
I mean, when I compete, I mean, I've known a lot of guys that look better than me. Like we are competing, but they don't place as high because they just don't know how to show their physique, like present it, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, whenever I see my friends, I try to tell them like get a pose outside and like outside the gym sessions and just train.
Yeah.
Because they look amazing, but they just don't know how to present it.
Yeah. That was the one guy at our gym. He had no pose practice going on his first bodybuilding. He did okay. Like he looked probably like, I would say physique wise, probably looked the best, but you could just tell he did walking on stage. He's like, oh, make sure you smile, man. Like, what are you doing? And as you turn around, you should probably still be doing. And it kind of sucked because he got left hanging dry from his coach, right? Then one of our trainers who did a few shows way back, but she was a girl, which is different posing in general. Probably, I don't know. But she tried to help him out just for like an hour or two before. So he had at least a little bit of posing practice, but it was like 2 hours of posing practice coached.
Right before the show.
Right before the show. Like, and he was,
I've heard that a lot though.
yeah. So anyway, there's that other part of it, I suppose. So no, everything that you want to invest your time and energy into, pick and choose, I guess. Right. And there's worse things to learn and the stuff you can gather from.
It is nice. It's just, I mean, it's your body. I mean, it's your temple.
I like that. Your temple.
Yeah.
I've said this to one person before. It's like, I got it from someone else. It wasn't me, but it just reminded me, I heard it once. I said to someone like, "Oh, that really excites." It's like if your body was, because you're a car guy, if you only had one car to drive for the rest of your life,
you take care of it.
You take care of it, right? And if you want it to look good, you're gonna make sure that you're doing the things to make it look good and to feel good,
this
right?
is your body. I mean, just put the best in it, and and work out, be active.
Yeah, and you got the mindset. So we're here in Seattle. We'll wrap up this podcast here, but we got DOTA 2 championship games to go check out.
After this.
Yeah, it'll be good. We're going to go meet up with some friends. We've had some good times here, good foods, and our first meetup's been awesome. So thanks for coming on the show and sharing a little bit about you. It's been awesome to meet you for the first time, but I'm hoping that it won't be the last time, and maybe you'll bump.
No, I'll come up there.
Yeah, and I definitely want to come back and do some more adventures down in the States at some point too. So thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Brendan.
You betcha. All right, you guys, feel free to check out his profile and stuff like that. I think I'll link your things on there so you guys can see what he does and follow him if you'd like. And we'll get you guys in the next episode.